everyone, it's Rachel. I'm back with you. Hey, I hope y'all are having an absolutely amazing week. But hey, it's a new week. We've got a new video. So let's get started. So the topic of today's video, I thought it was really important to cover as we are approaching, the holiday season. We are going to have friends and family going home, visiting family, visiting friends that they may have not seen for a while. And so in this video, this is not so much for the trans person, but for the friends and family members of trans person. The topic of this video is things not to say to your transgender friend, family member, or just that transgender person that you see in your town walking around. The first question, or the first statement is, well, you don't look trans. Okay. What does trans look like? Like, if I don't look trans, what does trans look like? I've heard this one a lot. But what does trans look like? Are you saying that trans people can't be handsome, can't be beautiful? Because I guarantee you some of the most beautiful people I've seen out there are trans or gender non-conforming. Like, trans people are just like any other person. They look like any other person. So yeah, statement number one, you don't look trans. Let's avoid that one. Let's just move past it. Hey, instead of saying, hey, you don't look trans, hey, you look great. You look handsome. You look beautiful. You look amazing. Have you lost weight? You look great. As substitutes. Number two, and this is more so for the stranger that you might run across in the gas station. But what were you born as? Y'all, let's not dwell on the past. Look at me now. You can tell how I look now. You can tell how I present. You can tell I present feminine. Anything past that, it's not really pertinent to this conversation, is it? Because that old self is gone. That old self is not coming back. What I was born as, you really don't need to know. Let me ask you, you're at work, you have that new coworker coming into the office, that new coworker that just started at the office. You're going to start off that first day by saying, hey, what gender were you born as? Just curious. No, you're not. So why are you going to ask me, that random person that you just see in the shopping center, in the gas station, here, there, everywhere? Because it's not pertinent to this conversation. It's not pertinent to the here and now, right? Okay. Number three. What is your real name? Now, I had a situation with this question at work. As we all know, I work for AT&T. I transitioned within AT&T. So I started off presenting male, and obviously I do not anymore. And I had a customer, he was a regular customer who knew me, who had seen me in the store pre-transition and then post-transition. And there was an interaction where I was helping said customer, and he asked me, he said, what's your name? And I said, it's Rachel. And he was like, no, but what's your real name? And I look at him, I say, it's Rachel. And he leans in a little closer. He goes, no, like, I know. Like, what is your real name? And by this point, I'm literally offended. So I pull out my driver's license, literally show it to him, and I say, it's Rachel. Now, not saying that your legal name has to be your real name, but if you were talking to a gentleman named Bill, and you asked him his name, and he said, hey, my name's Bill, are you going to say, no, but what's your real name? Guarantee you, again, you aren't. So why am I being treated differently here, right? So what's your real name? kind of off limits. Hey, what's your name? Can leave it right there, can't we? Okay, good. Now, these next two, they kind of run together. Have you had the surgery? Or what's in your pants? Yikes. Now, I'm going to clarify here. I mostly do online dating, right? If I'm looking to date, I normally do online dating. And if you look at my online dating profile, the first thing you're going to see is, hey, I'm trans. And no, hey, I'm trans and still pre-op. Right there. Question answered, right? But let's say we didn't meet online. Example, I was at my favorite bar. I'd had a couple drinks. Met a guy at the bar. We had a quick conversation. We exchanged numbers, and I went on my merry way. And that night, I literally texted him and said, hey, thank you for the conversation. Thanks for giving me your number. By the way, I'm trans, haven't had bottom surgery yet, so if you're still interested, hey, cool. If not, well, at least I was honest and upfront, right? Cool. So the way I look at it, if you're not financing me or me, you really don't need to know what's in my pants, right? The fascination that absolute strangers have with trans people's genitals really creeps me out. When I am at work and I'm talking to my new coworkers, I'm talking to customers, the last thing that is on my mind is, I wonder what's in their pants. I'm more so wondering, hey, where did he get that jacket? That is a really cute jacket. Hey, where did you get those boots? I want those boots. I wonder if he's single. It's another question I wonder, but never once do I wonder, hey, what's in their pants? So, I don't know. Don't be creepy. Don't ask about what's in people's pants. That's just weird. Another big one. When did you choose to be trans? So, you can ask, how long have you been transitioning? I've been transitioning for 3.5 years. When did I choose to be trans? Y'all, I'm gonna tell you, I never chose to be trans. I chose to transition, but I never chose to be trans. If I could, I wouldn't be trans. When I transitioned, I recently had gotten divorced. I was away from my family support system. They were 9 hours away. And I honestly just really felt so alone. And that loneliness and that solitude, while also going through just the anxiety and depression that came with my gender dysphoria, I needed to alleviate pressure somehow. I needed to alleviate pressure in some way. And I couldn't just pack my bags up and go home to my family support system. So my best way to alleviate that pressure was to get rid of the gender dysphoria, right? And how do you get rid of the gender dysphoria? What's the clinical diagnosis to get rid of gender dysphoria or to aid in gender dysphoria? It's transition. So I never chose to be this way. I chose to live. I chose to live my life the way I want to. But I never chose to be trans. I chose to transition. But even if I didn't transition, I would still have these feelings. I would just be repressing them and having more issues arise from just constant repression of feelings and emotions. So that one, it's more of a just pick your wording better. When did you choose to transition? Not when did you choose to be trans, or how long have you been transitioning, instead of When did you choose to be this way? Because I guarantee you, ask any trans person, we never chose to be this way. We would much rather not be, but we can't help it. It's just who we are. Another statement to avoid. This is so hard for me. I heard this one a lot from my family. And my family's great. Like, I love my family. Thankfully, my family kind of adjusted. Took, honestly, a couple of years, but we've adjusted. But I understand it's hard. I do, and I understand that there's a mourning period for the person that I was. I understand that. I understand that I look very, very different from my alter ego. From my alter ego, his name was Brent. I've mentioned that before. I don't mind sharing it with you. But I look very different than him. I almost talk different than him. I act slightly different than him. Just because I've become more of myself, right? I understand that was hard, and I understand that there's a mourning period. But on that same token, look at it from my vantage point. Do you think coming out was easy? Do you think coming out to my ex-spouse was easy? Do you think coming out to you, my family and friends, was easy? Do you think coming out to my coworkers was easy? Do you think admitting to myself and to my therapist and to my doctor that this was easy? Do you think stabbing myself in the butt with a needle every 3 days is easy? Do you think it's easy to remember taking a pill, refill my prescriptions? All of that is easy. Do you think it's easy to work with my femininity as a 29-year-old adult, 30-year-old adult, 40-year-old adult, and figure all this out is easy? No, it's not easy. So I understand it's hard, but you have to understand living for me is hard, and figuring all this out in the interim, like as I go along, is hard. So, again, I acknowledge your feelings. I will validate your feelings. I get it. But I expect the same in return, right? It's only fair. Perfect. Okay. Now, another one, and I've gotten this one before. I've gotten this one before in the dating world, especially, where people are, especially people who have known me beforehand. You were so handsome before. Or for my trans masculine friends, oh, you were so pretty before. Okay, but here's the thing. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with who I was. I wasn't happy internally. It didn't feel like home. The person I was before was sad, numb, depressed, anxious, overweight, just because they didn't give a crap about how they looked. The person struggling. I was about to lose my job because I just couldn't find the emotion to put into it. The person I am now is thriving. The person I am now is in the best shape of my life. Honest to goodness. The person I am now is happy, emotional, has friends, is successful. Like, the person I am now just is better in every way. So, I get that I may have been attractive before. But, I don't know, I think I'm attractive now. But what matters most is I'm happy now. That's all that matters. Can I see a before picture? Y'all, I will be very, 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 very honest with you. There's not a lot of before pictures of me left, at least that I have in my photo gallery. I have a handful from, a year, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, 2031, 2032, 2033, 2034, 2035, 2036, 2037, 2038, 2039, 2040, 2041, 2042, 2043, 2044, 2045, 2046, 2047, 2048, 2049, 2050, 2051, 2052, 2053, 2054, 2055, 2056, 2057, 2058, 2059, 2060, 2061, 2062, 2063, 2064, 2065, 2066, 2067, 2068, 2069, 2070, 2071, 2072, 2073, 2074, 2075, 2076, 2077, 2078, 2079, 2080, 2081, 2082, 2083, 2084, 2085, 2086, 2087, 2088, 2089, 2090, 2091, 2092, 2093, 2094, 2095, 2096, 2097, 2098, 2099, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 20 I have a handful from about 2 years before. I transitioned, and that was from a family event that was very intimate and personal to me that I will never, ever get rid of. And then a few, like, at the very beginning of my transition, and that's about it. I don't know. For me, like, that's honestly a part of my life I kind of dissociate from. And until I'm super comfortable with you, I'm not really comfortable sharing those pictures. I don't know. That's just me. Just because I want you to see me for who I am and not who I was. And then the last thing to not say to your trans friend, your trans former classmate, your trans coworker, ex-coworker, whatever. I've always wanted to be with a trans person. Cause y'all, like, if we're dating, if you want to date me, if you want to date a trans person, you want to hook up with a trans person, personally, like, me, maybe I'm weird. I want you to be with me because you like me. I want you to be with me because you like my personality, because we have a lot in common, because you like my vibe, not because I'm trans. If you're only interested in me because I'm trans, y'all, I don't want it. That's just me, just being straight with you. I don't know. I don't like being an experiment. I don't like being a fetish. I've been an experiment far too many times, and I'm over that life. Very much over that life. But yeah, that's me. I don't know. So that is a quick synopsis of things to not say to that trans family member that might be coming home for the holidays, that trans friend that may have left town is coming home to visit family for the holidays, that trans coworker that you might have in the office, that trans mutual friend that you just met, anything of that sort, just things to not say to the trans people in your life. So, looks like Skittles is coming to join us here as I sign off. Everyone, it has been great talking to you, and I will hopefully see you next week. I may take a week off for the Christmas holiday. It really just depends on how my schedule goes. Again, I work retail, so hey, it's going to be a busy week. That being said, I am going to leave in the description box of this video the link to my YouTube, or the link to my Instagram, rather. We're on YouTube. The link to my Instagram. That is the easiest way to get a hold of me. I am always open to video suggestions, topic suggestions. And then also I am going to leave a link to my GoFundMe with my upcoming bottom surgery, taking time off work, and then just, the maintenance to get there. Example, I just had to spend a nice little chunk of money for 10 sessions of electrolysis. Hopefully the last 10 sessions I will need, just to get me to the operation table. So any donations are very much appreciated. Again, not expected, but very much appreciated. All right, my friends. This is our longest video to date. We are at 19 minutes. I almost want to keep talking for a minute just to hit the 20 piece, but I'm not going to do that for you. I am not going to waste dead time on the air. I love you all very much. Thank you so much for being supportive and being a part of my channel, and I will talk to y'all later. All right, my friends. Love you. Goodbye.